You are about to discover the awesome power, dynamics, brilliance, and generosity of the Dual Maxfinity Hybrid Compensation Plan. The Dual Maxfinity is the world's first and only true perpetual and self-perpetuating 2x1 Follow-Me Infinity Matrix. It's unlike anything you have ever seen, yet powerfully simple. Here are the highlights. Pays out 70% in commissions, not up to 70%, but 70 cents on every dollar. You get paid fast because it takes only 2 to cycle. It's highly leveraged, which means as your team begins to grow, your income has the potential to grow exponentially. We have 2 unique features that are an industry first: 2 upcycle commissions and self-perpetuating volume centers, 2 leadership positions, which adds more leverage and gives you more money, 5% Leaders Lifestyle Pool. It's a global seamless pay plan, which gives you a global opportunity, and it pays weekly, with only a 2-day lag. The weekend's on a Sunday, and you get paid that very Tuesday. Now that's fast! Before we get into the specifics of the Dual Maxfinity, let's first discuss some of these more popular compensation plans. Binaries are no doubt the most popular, and are the result of many successful companies. It's a great pay plan, especially if you're lucky enough to fall on the power leg, because then you only need to build one leg straight down, and that's a great position to be in. But what happens if you're not lucky enough to be positioned in the power leg? You are then forced to build both legs, and that is not a good situation to be in. As for the 2-up compensation plans, they have lots of leverage and they can make you a lot of money, but you have to give up your first 2 people. Even with a 1-up, you still have to give up your first person. Do you really want to give up anyone? Also, with these type plans, once your people qualify, there is no longer any commission overrides or incentives to work with them. Wouldn't it be great to have the leverage of a 2-up or 1-up, but without having to give up anyone, and always having the incentive to continue to work with your team and to help them succeed, especially when the more money your team makes, the more money you make? Of course you would. With the 2x2 Follow Me Matrix, this compensation plan is getting more and more popular. But once you begin to work a 2x2 matrix, you will soon recognize one major flaw, and it can be a momentum killer as well as an income killer. They say all you need to do is get 2 people, then help those 2 get 2 people each. But what happens when your first 2 do not get their first 2? Yep, you are once again in a bad situation. You are now forced to get 4 more to complete your 2x2 for a total of 6 in order to cycle and get paid. There is no way around it, and this can happen over and over again every time you begin a new 2x2 matrix after completing a cycle. As for the 2x3 matrix, these type plans are always doomed for failure because your ability to cycle and make money are based on the collective efforts of your team. 2 key words: collective efforts. 2x3s create lots of excitement because of the possibilities of making large cycle commissions with little work. The emphasis is on only having to bring on a few good people. Here's what always happens. In the beginning, the leaders do some massive recruiting. Some bring on a few. The boards are moving, people are cycling and getting paid, and the ones cycling and getting paid are usually the leaders. And then, for whatever reason, people stop recruiting, and then the activity on the board eventually is non-existent. Now, instead of your team having a collective effort to bring in new people, they now have a collective mindset. Why should I bring in new people if nobody else is? Once again, you are in a very bad situation. Speaking of mindset, the Dual Maxfinity does not have spillover. It is our strong opinion that the promise of spillover is overhyped, and it encourages people to join your business for the wrong reasons. People that get excited about spillover are not the kind of people you should want to go into business with. And yes, this is a business. The Dual Maxfinity has been designed with the emphasis on rewarding you on your personal efforts, and it's not dependent upon others whether you get paid or not. However, the Dual Maxfinity is also designed to reward you as your team begins to duplicate, giving you the ability to exponentially grow your income like never before. Let's begin. As previously mentioned, the Dual Maxfinity is unlike anything you have ever seen, yet powerfully simple. How does it work? First, it's free to become an independent associate. Upon application, you are awarded 2 business centers or income centers. Business Center number 1 creates immediate income, the now money. And Business Center number 2 creates the now money and long-term leveraged residuals. Let's talk about the now money. Both business centers 1 and 2 create immediate income for you, and that comes from the initial $287 payment upon application. These two business centers are identical in their 2x1 matrix structure in regards to cycling and generating commissions. The only difference is how much commission they pay out for each cycle. Business Center 1 pays $150 cycles. Business Center 2 pays $50 cycles, for a total of $200 a cycle. There are two ways you can activate your business centers. You can sell a membership to a customer that is not an independent associate, or you can purchase the membership for your own personal use. Once you activate your business centers with a membership sale, you are now an IBO, also known as an independent business owner. Before we go any further, it is important to understand that commissions are paid on sales and not for recruiting. So, for the purposes of this presentation, keep in mind that each IBO has activated their business centers as a result of a membership sale. Once again, commissions are paid on sales and not for recruiting. Okay, let's proceed. The Dual Maxfinity is quick, it's exciting, and you get paid fast because it only takes two. The 2x1 matrix is a one-level structure. It simply means that once you fill your two positions on your first and only level, you will cycle and get paid. There are three ways to fill your 2x1 matrix in order to cycle, for both Business Center 1 and Business Center 2. One way is to personally sponsor new IBOs. Remember now, IBOs are independent associates who have activated their business centers with a membership sale. The second way is to make retail customer sales, and the third way is by re-entries. Re-entries happen after you cycle. That's why it's called a Follow Me Matrix. Because every time you cycle, you are automatically re-entered back into the 2x1 matrix with a new matrix to fill, following your sponsor. Just as you follow your sponsor when you cycle, your personally sponsored IBOs will follow you when they cycle. Here's a couple of examples of how quick and easy it is to cycle. You personally sponsor two IBOs, let's say Jim and Ann. Remember, it only takes two, so now that you filled your two positions, you cycle and you get paid a cycle commission. $150 cycle commission on Business Center 1 and $50 cycle commission on Business Center 2. You get paid $200. Easy enough? Every time you fill your matrix of only two, you cycle and you get paid. Now that's fast. You then follow your sponsor into a new 2x1 matrix. Here's another example of how quick and easy it is. You sponsor a new IBO, Ed, which fills one position, and Ann, who you already sponsored. She cycles. Ann now follows you, filling your second position. You once again get your two, Ed and Ann. You get paid another $200 cycle commission, $150 cycle commission on Business Center number 1, and $50 cycle commission on Business Center number 2. Did you get that? You sponsor Ed, who was a new IBO. He fills up one position. And Ann, who you previously sponsored, she cycles and follows you, filling up your second position. You've got your two, and you get paid again. Is this too easy or what? A 2x1 Follow Me Matrix is super powerful because every time your personally sponsored IBOs cycle, they are filling up half of your matrix because they follow you, and it only takes two. Having said that, here's another great example of how easy it is to cycle and get paid. So far in these examples, you have three personally sponsored IBOs, Jim, Ann, and Ed. Let's say that Ann cycles again and Jim cycles for the first time. They both follow you, filling the two positions. You cycle again and you get paid another $200, and yet you didn't sponsor any new IBOs for that cycle. Can you imagine if you had only 6 personally sponsored IBOs cycling only twice a week? That's 6 cycles and $1,200 a week to you, and we still haven't gotten to the best and most exciting features in this compensation plan. Yes, it gets better, a whole lot better. As a side note, there is very little breakage in the 2x1 structure. You are already seeing how easy it is for you to cycle. Breakage, by the way, is the money the company keeps when reps do not qualify for commissions. There is very little breakage in a 2x1 structure because it is so easy to cycle. Speaking of how easy it is to cycle, let's talk about spill up. We said earlier that we do not have spill over, but we do have spill up. Spill over encourages weakness, whereas spill up creates excitement. You're going to really love this. Let's say you sponsored Mary and she sponsors Jim, and Jim sponsors Nancy, and Nancy sponsors Jack, and Jack sponsors Nicole. This is so cool. They all get just one each, straight down. We call this the one line. Look what happens. When Nicole, who's at the bottom of the one line, cycles first, everybody cycles. Do you see what just happened? On this one line, Nicole cycled by sponsoring Marcy and Paul. Now that Nicole cycled, she followed her sponsor Jack by filling up both positions for Jack, causing Jack to cycle. Then, Jack followed his sponsor Nancy, causing Nancy to cycle, which in turn got Jim to cycle and then Mary to cycle. This is possible because it's a follow me matrix, and it only takes two. Any goosebumps yet? The Dual Maxfinity matrix goes far beyond the 2x1 structure. We just showed you how fast and easy it is to cycle and get paid $200 each time you cycle. And remember, we are still talking about the now money from the initial $287. And if this was a typical 2x1 matrix, you would be making $200 a cycle starting with your very first cycle. But the Dual Maxfinity is not your typical 2x1 matrix. With the Dual Maxfinity, you earn $100 on your first two cycles. You earn $75 on your first two cycles from Business Center 1, and you earn $25 on your first two cycles from Business Center 2, for a total of $100 a cycle instead of $200. Then, from your third cycle on, you earn $200 on every cycle as long as you meet the requirement of personally sponsoring two IBOs. At this point, you should be jumping out of your chair with excitement. You may be thinking, why should I be excited? I'm giving up $200, $100 two times. You should be excited because we just gave you a huge pay raise by giving you the ability to leverage your earnings and to make exponentially more money with the same amount of effort and sales volume. With leverage, you give up a little early on to get a whole lot more forever. Whether you cycled 50, 100, or even 200 times, how much money are you really giving up? You still give up $100 twice. That's only $200 total. That's it. Now here's the second way you make money with the Dual Maxfinity, and this second way can truly exponentially grow your income. $100 two-up cycle commissions, the ultimate perpetual leverage, and it goes to infinity. Here's where it gets exciting. Since you only earn $100 on your first two cycles, that means every IBO earns only $100 on their first two cycles as well. Where do the other $100 cycle commissions go? They go to the upline sponsor that is 2-up qualified. How do you become 2-up qualified? It's real simple. Once two of your personally sponsored IBOs cycle at least once, you are now 2-up qualified. That's it. The 2-up feature is not new to network marketing. However, adding the 2-up feature to cycle commissions, to our knowledge, is an industry first, creating true perpetual leverage within the 2x1 matrix. For clarification purposes, it's not the first two IBOs you personally sponsored that qualifies you. It's the first two IBOs that you have personally sponsored that have cycled at least once. Real simple. Let's say that you sponsored Jim, Ann, Ed, Mark, and Donna, and Ann and Mark are the first two to cycle. You are now 2-up qualified. Since Ann and Mark are your first two to cycle, they are your two qualifiers. You did not lose them. They are still on your team, and every time they cycle, they will continue to follow you, helping you to cycle and make more money. This 2-up feature gives you true perpetual leverage, thereby giving you the potential to exponentially grow your income. You have just received a huge pay raise because now that you are 2-up qualified, except for Ann and Mark because they were your qualifiers, every time your personally sponsored IBOs cycle their first two times and they earn $100, you earn the $100 2-up cycle commission. And this goes down to infinity. Just imagine. You not only earn 2-up cycle commissions on your personally sponsored first two cycles, you also earn the 2-up commissions on their first two to cycle, and then their first two to cycle, and so on. It's basically the first two to cycle, of the first two to cycle, of the first two to cycle, down to infinity. Wow! You are now positioned to receive endless $100 2-up cycle commissions. As you can see, it can get pretty exciting and very lucrative. Every one of these IBOs become infinity paylines to you. with the potential to continue to double in size down to infinity. Do you remember earlier when we showed you the example of the one line? Just to give you an idea of the possibilities of the kind of money these 2-up cycle commissions can generate for you, let's go back to that example. We showed you what happened when you sponsored Mary and she sponsors Jim, and Jim sponsors Nancy and Nancy sponsors Jack, and Jack sponsors Nicole, and they all get just one each, straight down, which we call the one line. What happened when Nicole, who was at the bottom of the line, cycled first? Everybody ended up cycling. Now, if all of those IBOs were new, as we showed in that example, and if you were 2-up qualified, you would have earned a $100 2-up cycle commission on Nicole, on Jack, on Nancy, on Jim, and on Mary, for a total of $500 just in 2-up cycle commissions. Remember, once you are 2-up qualified, you are now positioned to receive endless $100 2-up cycle commissions down to infinity. What we have shown you up to this point is the now money, the immediate income, and it's pretty darn exciting. The now money will allow you to get $100 to $200 a day income rather quickly, and this all comes from the initial $287 payment upon application. And this now money is generated from both Business Centers 1 and 2. Now, before we demonstrate how Business Center number 2 generates the back-end money, which we like to call leveraged residuals, let's take a minute to discuss the qualification requirement of having to personally sponsor 2 IBOs in order for you to continue earning the maximum cycle commissions from your 3rd cycle on. And this is just another example and proof that the dual Maxfinity has been well thought out with you in mind. We added a special caveat to the requirement. As we explained, with the 2x1 Follow Me matrix, every time one of your personally sponsored IBO cycles, they follow you into your current matrix. What if your first personally sponsored IBO cycles 5 times before you personally sponsor your second IBO? Do the math. You will be cycling for your 3rd time, and you are not yet qualified. You still need to sponsor one more IBO in order to earn the $200 cycle. We do not want to see you lose any commissions, so this is what we've done. Once you personally sponsor your first IBO, you have 21 days from that day to sponsor your second IBO. During these 21 days, you will continue to earn the maximum cycle commission. However, if you fail to sponsor your second IBO within these 21 days, on the 22nd day, you will revert back to earning $100 a cycle, or $75 for Business Center number 1 and $25 from Business Center number 2. Once you sponsor your second IBO, you will revert back to earning maximum cycle commissions instantly. Now, let's talk back-end money, which we refer to as leveraged residuals. And believe it or not, this will eventually become the big money over time. Introducing the second unique feature of the dual Maxfinity, the world's first and only true perpetual and self-perpetuating 2x1 Follow Me Infinity Matrix. Earlier in the presentation, we showed you the 3 ways to fill your 2x1 matrix: your personally sponsored IBOs, retail customer sales, and re-entries. However, there's a 4th way to fill your Business Center 2 matrix. And the 4th way is volume centers. You see, every time you pay your $87 each month, a volume center is created and is placed in your 2x1 matrix. Why is this such a powerful and exciting feature? Because these volume centers feed and fill your Business Center 2 matrix, which helps you to cycle. Since it takes only 2 to cycle, each month you are filling half your matrix. That's why we call the dual Maxfinity compensation plan self-perpetuating. And it's the same for every IBO, creating a $50 cycle frenzy as well as creating a $25 2-up cycle frenzy. There is a strong possibility that within 4 to 6 months, you will be earning more money from Business Center 2 than from Business Center 1, even though Business Center 1 pays 3 times more in cycle commissions. This becomes even more possible when you get promoted to a 3-star or 5-star team leader, which we will discuss in a minute. Imagine having 20 IBOs or retail customers making their monthly payments that month or that week or that day. Imagine having 200 IBOs or retail customers making their monthly payments that month or that week or that day. Are you starting to see the possibilities? But you have just witnessed the power, dynamics, brilliance, and generosity of the dual Maxfinity compensation plan, the world's first and only true perpetual and self-perpetuating 2x1 Follow Me Infinity Matrix. Simple, yet very powerful. 2 income centers. The Now Money, giving you the ability to earn full-time income fast. The Back End Money, giving you leveraged residuals. $200 cycle commissions, $100 two-up cycle commissions. The Infinity Pay Lines. Volume centers, which feed and fill your Business Center 2 matrix, creating a $50 cycle frenzy, as well as a $25 two-up cycle frenzy. 70% commission payout. 2 leadership positions, adding more leverage and an additional $20 a cycle. 5% leaders lifestyle pool. And we pay you weekly with only a 2-day lag. Our slogan here at TraVista Worldwide is creating extraordinary lifestyles, one dream at a time. We invite you to dream with us, knowing that your extraordinary lifestyle awaits you, should you commit to work hard and follow through on your dreams. Please refer to the Compensation Plan PDF file on our website for complete details, qualifications, and guidelines. Thank you.